My sister-in-law told everyone I was faking my pregnancy to trap her brother. I smiled, nodded, and let her keep talking. By the time I was done, she wished she'd kept her mouth shut. I'm 28 and 6 months pregnant with my first kid. My husband Derek and I have been together for 5 years, married for 2. His older sister Vanessa has never liked me, but I thought we had an understanding. Stay polite, keep distance, move on. She'd make little comments here and there about how young we got married, how Derek had so many options before me, but nothing I couldn't brush off. Then, she threw me a surprise baby shower. I was genuinely touched when I walked into the community center and saw all the decorations. Pink and white balloons everywhere, a dessert table that must have cost a fortune, even a professional photographer. Vanessa had gone all out. I was genuinely touched until I started recognizing faces. Half the guests were her friends, not mine. Women I'd met maybe once or twice at family gatherings. But I smiled and played along. She gave this whole speech about how excited she was to be an aunt, how she couldn't wait to spoil the baby, how family meant everything to her. Everyone clapped. I even teared up a little. The shower lasted about 3 hours. I opened gifts, played the silly games, ate cake. Vanessa was the perfect hostess, attentive and sweet. When it was over, I hugged her and thanked her for everything. She told me it was her pleasure and that she just wanted me to feel loved and supported. 2 days later, my friend Sarah pulled me aside at work. She looked uncomfortable, kept fidgeting with her coffee cup. She'd been at the shower because we've been close since college. Apparently, the second I left, Vanessa gathered everyone in a circle and started talking. She told them I'd been trying to get pregnant on purpose to lock Derek down, that I'd confided in her that we were having problems and this was my Hail Mary, that Derek didn't even want kids yet, but I'd manipulated him into it, that she was throwing the shower to keep up appearances, but she was really worried about her brother being trapped in a marriage he didn't want. Sarah said some of the women looked skeptical, but others were nodding along. A few even offered Vanessa sympathy for having to deal with such a difficult situation. One of Vanessa's friends apparently said I always seemed too eager to please, like I was trying too hard. None of it was true. Derek and I had been actively trying for 8 months. We talked about kids since our second date. He'd been the one to bring up starting a family. We'd even seen a fertility specialist after 6 months because we were getting worried. I went home that night and told Derek everything. He was furious, wanted to call Vanessa immediately, but I asked him to wait. I had a better idea. I didn't confront her. Instead, I asked Derek if we could host a small dinner with his family before the baby came. Parents, Vanessa, and her husband Troy. I told him I wanted to share some special memories and talk about our journey to parenthood. Derek thought it was sweet and agreed immediately. His parents were thrilled when we invited them. Vanessa seemed surprised, but said she'd be there. I spent the next week planning every detail of that dinner. The night came. I cooked Derek's mom's favorite meal, set the table with candles, put together a whole presentation on my laptop. After we ate, I brought out dessert and said I wanted to share something special with everyone. I casually brought up our fertility journey, showed his parents the timeline we'd made, the ovulation tracking app screenshots, the appointment confirmations from our doctor visits. Derek jumped in naturally, talking about how nervous he'd been at each appointment, how he'd been worried something was wrong with him, how grateful he was when we finally got the positive test. His mom teared up. His dad got emotional and grabbed Derek's hand across the table. They had no idea we'd been trying for so long or that we'd seen a specialist. Then I turned to Vanessa and said, with the sweetest smile I could manage, I'm so glad we're all on the same page now. Derek and I were worried people might think this was an accident or that we weren't ready. Her face went completely white. Troy looked confused, glancing between his wife and the rest of us. Derek's parents looked at each other, then at Vanessa. She tried to laugh it off, said something about how, of course, everyone knew we'd planned this, but her voice was shaky. Derek's mom wasn't letting it go. She asked point blank if Vanessa had said something different to other people. The table went silent. Vanessa stammered, said she might have expressed some concern to a few friends, but it was only because she cared. Derek's dad asked what kind of concern. She couldn't answer. That's when Derek's dad pulled out his phone and called Sarah. She was still in his contacts from helping plan our wedding 2 years ago. He put it on speaker and asked her directly what Vanessa had said at the shower. Sarah didn't hesitate. She laid out everything: the manipulation claims, the trapped husband narrative, the whole performance Vanessa had put on the second I left. You could hear the discomfort in Sarah's voice, but she told the truth. The silence after that call ended was deafening. Derek's mom looked like she'd been slapped. His dad's face turned red. Troy was staring at his plate. Derek's dad told Vanessa she owed me an apology and needed to correct what she'd said to every single person at that shower. His mom said if she couldn't be supportive, she wouldn't be involved with the baby at all. Vanessa started crying, saying she was just worried about her brother, that family was important to her, that she didn't mean for it to sound so bad. She reached for Derek's hand across the table. He pulled away. Derek had been quiet the whole time, just staring at his sister with this look I'd never seen before. Then he finally spoke, his voice cold and steady. You didn't just spread lies about my wife. You tried to poison my relationship with mom and dad and turn our friends against us before our baby is even born. You're not meeting our child until you fix every single thing you broke. And even then, I'm not sure I'll ever trust you again. Vanessa left that table without saying another word. Troy trailing behind her, looking shell-shocked.